When people say dash, I mostly hear, oh, that's the low-salt diet. Is that actually the main idea? Or are we missing the reason it lowers blood pressure?
Salt matters, but DASH is stronger than just remove sodium. The pattern adds foods that bring potassium, magnesium, calcium, nitrate-rich vegetables, and fiber while reducing saturated fat, added sugar, and processed salty foods. Blood pressure is basically a force problem inside arteries. DASH nudges several force controls at once: fluid balance, vessel relaxation, kidney sodium handling, and weight or insulin-related pressure over time. Here's the body ladder version. In the gut, beans, oats, fruit, and vegetables deliver fiber and minerals rather than a fast, salty load. In the blood, potassium and other minerals help the body regulate electrical gradients and vascular tone. At the kidney, lower sodium intake can mean less sodium and water retained. The result is not instant medicine-like control, but a repeated meal signal that can lower average pressure.
So, if someone swaps a few meals, what kind of blood pressure change is realistic? Are we talking a tiny lab number or something a home cuff could actually notice?
A useful modern example is the GoFreshRx trial. Black adults in Boston who were already treated for hypertension received weekly DASH-aligned groceries plus dietitian help for 12 weeks. Their clinic systolic pressure fell about 7 millimeters of mercury versus about 2 in the self-directed stipend group. The between-group difference was 5 millimeters. That is not a cure, but at population scale, it is clinically meaningful.
Why do some people say dash changed their numbers quickly, while others eat the same foods and barely move? Is that compliance, genetics, or just where they started?
It could be all three. If someone currently eats few plants and lots of salty packaged meals, DASH is a big exposure change. If they already eat close to it, the measurable drop may be smaller. A secondary analysis of the NUPRIS trial also suggests genetic risk scores predicted blood pressure changes over 6 months, independent of the dietary intervention, though that needs replication. So we should expect variability, not declare failure after one noisy reading. The major boundary is kidney and potassium physiology. DASH foods are often potassium-rich, which is usually a feature, but not automatically safe for everyone. People with chronic kidney disease, a history of high potassium, or medicines that raise potassium need clinician-guided adaptation. That can include choosing lower potassium produce, checking labs, or individualizing sodium and protein targets instead of copying a generic DASH menu.
If the pattern is the medicine-like part, what does someone actually buy? Because eat dash sounds clear until you are staring at cereal, soup, yogurt, and frozen meals.
Think of a nutrition facts label as dose control for sodium and saturated fat. Compare similar products because bread, soup, sauces, deli meats, frozen entrees, and restaurant-style foods can carry sodium without tasting aggressively salty. Then build the plate with high-volume foods: vegetables, fruit, beans, lentils, oats, brown rice, unsalted nuts, and low-fat milk or yogurt if tolerated. The dairy and fiber pieces are easy to overlook. Low-fat dairy contributes calcium, potassium, and protein without much saturated fat when chosen carefully. Fiber-rich plants slow digestion, improve fullness, and often displace refined starches and salty convenience foods. DASH is not asking one nutrient to do the whole job. It changes the default meal architecture so the pressure-raising inputs are crowded out.
The lesson title says blood pressure, but the packet mentions kidney outcomes too. Does DASH protect kidneys, or is that mostly because blood pressure improves?
The kidney evidence is promising, but not a license to self-prescribe. An umbrella review of systematic reviews found lower sodium intake helped reduce urinary sodium and protein excretion in chronic kidney disease, and DASH was linked with lower CKD risk in people without CKD. In CKD patients, DASH showed signals for reducing proteinuria and slowing eGFR decline. But the review did not show direct mortality improvement, so we separate biomarkers from hard outcomes.
If someone is already on blood pressure medication and Dash starts working, should they change the dose themselves? And how should they track whether the diet is helping without overreacting?
Use a quiet home cuff routine. Same time of day, seated, rested, and record several readings across a week. Look at the average, not the single best number. Also track the exposure. Servings of vegetables and fruit, beans, or whole grains, low-fat dairy if used, and lower sodium product swaps. If the blood pressure average has not moved after 8 to 12 consistent weeks, the plan may still be healthy, but expectations should shift. Tailoring is especially important for chronic kidney disease, heart failure, pregnancy, eating disorders, frailty, food allergies, and anyone on complex medication regimens. Also, Dash is food first. Concentrated potassium products, salt substitutes with potassium chloride, or aggressive supplement stacks are different exposures. A clinician or dietitian can keep the blood pressure goal while adjusting potassium, sodium, protein, calories, and cultural food preferences.
Give me the least dramatic way to start. If someone wants Dash benefits without a total life reboot, what are the first moves you would actually trust?
For 2 weeks, make breakfast oats or low-fat yogurt with fruit. Add 1 bean, lentil, or vegetable-heavy meal daily. Switch one salty packaged staple to a lower sodium version, and use unsalted nuts or fruit instead of salty snacks. Measure blood pressure as an average, not a mood ring. The promise is not that Dash beats every medication or every genetic tendency. The promise is that a proven food pattern can lower the pressure load your arteries and kidneys face every day.